Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in the Twin Cities, it's time for Minneapolis-St. Paul Business Radio. Now, here's your host.
And hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Minneapolis-St. Paul Business Radio. I'm John Ray, and folks, I've been looking forward to this one. Ryan Burton is with us. Ryan is the CEO of Leads Near Me, and he is also the founder, creator of the High Gear Auto Repair Marketing Conference. Welcome, Ryan.
Thanks, John. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, great to have you here. Let's talk about you and Leads Near Me. How are you serving folks out there?
Well, I'll tell you a little bit about us. We are a digital marketing company for auto repair shops. And yeah, we're in one niche and we take care of one category and we love it. I'm also the founder of the High Gear Auto Repair Marketing Conference that's in year one. We're doing in Atlanta, Georgia, which is where Leads Near Me is based at the Atlanta Airport Marriott. So it's year one of that conference, and we'll tell you all about that today. But Leads Near Me, websites, Google Ads, search engine optimization, social media. We always say we do the top part of the digital advertising funnel to deliver leads and increase car count for amazing auto repair shops all over the country. We have hundreds of them. We're in 43 or 44 states now, Canada, US, and having a ball.
Wow, that's terrific. Let's talk a little bit about you before we get into the specifics of that work. But why digital marketing for you? I mean, what? Tell us a little bit about your career journey.
Yeah, I mean, about 18 years ago, I got very interested in web design. Became a web developer. I'm a Google Ads expert. I'm an SEO. I don't do any of those things at our company anymore, but a lot of the original recipes that I developed all those years ago are still in place. I think it flows for me from being a musician. Actually, years ago, I was in a rock band, and I find web development and advertising and marketing very creative. It's my outlet. It's my path, and fell in, I didn't fall in. I really discovered those things in marketing and followed that road. But I've been in advertising and marketing for about 32 years. I was on the radio. I'm originally from Canada.
Okay.
Which is awesome, right?
Yeah.
But I'm obviously an American citizen now. I've been here for 20 years.
Where in Canada are you from?
I grew up in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Oh, wow.
Which is just north of the state of Minnesota, by the way.
Yeah,
if you know or don't know that. And then I lived in Montreal for a number of years.
Okay.
And and came down here about 20 years ago in radio. So that's where I started. And then I moved into the digital aspect of things. But the creative aspect, again, of music, where I kind of started as a teenager in bands, really, I find digital marketing to be very, similar. Website design, there's a lot of creation and our artistic aspects to it. So I really enjoyed that, fell into it, and founded Leads Near Me about 7 years ago. I was born out of another company that I'd started, and it kind of grew from there.
Yeah, very cool. So why the focus on auto repair shops?
Well, it's interesting. I think a lot of companies select niches, like they go, I'm going to pick this niche, it's going to be me, and then they kind of make it work. But there's a shop in Highlands Ranch, Colorado called Next Auto Care, and Next and Ken Stafford and Dolores became clients of ours in 2015, I think it was. And we just really, it was when really Ken started that business, and we just really grew together, and it really was a fit. And then we took on a shop in Clearwater, Florida called Service Masters Total Car Care, Jeff Bragdon. And we just started having this great success with shops. We just were able to find the recipe, the path to getting them a lot of calls. And shop owners are amazing people. They started recommending us to other shop owners, and Leads Near Me has grown in the last 4 or 5 years on referrals alone. So we've taken on hundreds of clients off people telling us or people telling about us. So it was accidental to a certain degree, but in the process, we've really fallen in love with these shop owners. They're great family people. They're very hardworking people. Whatever you think or don't think about shop owners, they're incredibly ethical. They're good guys. They do very important work. It's incredibly difficult work. I mean, fixing a car is really, really hard to do. And these guys don't get anywhere near the credit for what they do to keep the country moving every day, us getting in our cars and making them work. So and I always say that the technical aspect of auto repair is very similar to the technical aspect of web development. It's very hard to do. So these people are very respectful of someone else that has a lot of skills. So it's very unique. There's a lot of categories that it's not quite that complicated to do the work. I'm not picking on other categories right now. Okay, it's not anybody in particular, but this is really hard work.
Sure.
Right? Yeah. So it's just, I think we have a lot of things in common. And then my rock and roll background, if I was, in a band today, I'd probably have sleeves of tattoos and everything, which a lot of our shop folks have. They've got some tattoos. So I relate to that blue collar background. And it's just been a really good fit. And so these are my people. We get along. We like each other, unintentionally become friends with a lot of them. So it's one of those things that happens, but you can't fake it. So it's been a really good fit because we connect, we get along, we like each other, we get great results. And, I hope that made any sense.
No, it makes perfect. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And it's ironic that you're in the business of generating leads for this niche, but you grew that niche out of referrals. Basically, that's what you've done, right? It's
been referrals, and I'm extremely proud of that. It just really speaks to what our team does. We've got an amazing team that works at Leads Near Me, and then the shop owners. I mean, they're very selfless and very generous, and they want you to succeed. They want each other to succeed. It's a category like you've never seen. I mean, you should come to the conference, John, and meet some of these guys there. You're welcome to come. And I think you'll be very, very surprised. I mean, it's just amazing, generous people. So,
well, let's talk about this niche of great business owners. In a way, it doesn't surprise one that they kind of look out for each other because they all draw from a specific geography, right? So they're really not looking at each other as competition unless maybe they're across the street from each other, but they really don't look at their fellow shop owners that way, right?
You're absolutely right. I mean, that hits the nail right in the head. So yeah, they're in a 5-mile radius and there is a chance that, there's another shop there and they are competing against that guy. But I'll address that in a second, but it's amazing how they actually even help the guy in the 5-mile radius. Like they are really that generous with one another. But to your point, for the most part, they're not competing against each other. So because of that, they've become very generous to one another, and it's been game changing for each other. I mean, their discovery about this and their helpfulness to each other has been game changing. But I see cases all the time where they're like, it doesn't matter if they're across the road. They'll go work in the guy's shop if he's sick and help people out. They really are amazing. It's really something else to see.
Yeah. And unlike your business or my business where, professional services, we rely on referrals mostly, right?
Yeah.
The leads that come to an auto repair shop are overwhelmingly come through some sort of digital marketing venue, right? Whether the customer Googles for that auto repair shop or what have you, right?
Yeah, well, we like to believe they're all from Google and digital because that's what we do, and that's what we tell people.
Right.
So don't tell them it's not true. There's other lead sources, but
okay, we won't tell them that.
It's only Google. So if you're thinking of something, I'm joking. There's
of course.
And High Gear, our conference, is going to talk about every channel they can use, and again, much like their generosity, we've got other people that we recommend too. But no, I mean, unlike recommendations are the heart of business, right? I mean, I tell people all the time, if your business is not getting referrals and you're not having people recommend you, then you're going to go out of business. I mean, that should be the main source of leads for any company in the world. But obviously a retail business is a lot easier to market than B2B, right? So, a retail business like an auto repair shop is going to get a lot of new customers from somebody Googling auto repair shop near me. And I always put near me in there because that's in my company name, John. I do these things.
Yeah, of course.
Auto repair shop near me. And then sure enough, their company pops up, and I always say, it's somebody that does not have a vendor preference, needs someone close by, and has something broken, right? So those are all the boxes to check, and they get found and they show up, and then we get the credit and we get more referrals, right? Because people are like, these leads near me, guys, they're bringing all these new cars in, and we love them. So absolutely. So Google's a huge driver,
right,
of new customers for auto repair shops. The largest, actually, I would say without question.
Well, yeah, and specifically, I would think, but you're the expert, Google reviews.
Yeah, I mean, this is a whole other aspect. We always say there's 3 pieces of Google, right?
Okay.
There's the ads, which pop up on top. And we're a Google Premier partner, by the way, one of only 2 in the auto aftermarket, and only 3% of agencies attain that. We manage well more than $1 million a month of Google ad spend for shops alone. So anyway, I just thrown that in there. It's like a little commercial.
No, I like the way you did that.
Call me now. Anyway, it's 1-800. No, it's not 1-800. No, anyway. But the ads are on top, and that is one piece. Then there's the Google business profile, which is that listing on the maps that everybody knows where the reviews are. Then there's search engine optimization, which is where the website shows up. So there's 3 places to show. Reviews are part of the Google business profile. Mm-hmm. And reviews they've become so hugely important in 2023. I mean, people make decisions off reviews and things they see online. And so it's important to solicit them. And those play also into the algorithm of that listing even showing up, right? So the listing shows up based on several indices that play into the Google business profile. So reviews are important from a reputation standpoint, but then they're also important from an algorithmic standpoint on Google.
I'm going down a real geeky, nerdy hole here.
Let's do it. That's my world.
I know,
man.
It is your world.
Geeky and nerdy.
Yeah, but I'm about to get left in the dust here when I ask this question. But I would imagine with AI that reviews are going to be even more important, because AI will enable those reviews to even be more, I guess, for lack of a better term, Google can comb through those much more effectively and pull out the pieces of those interviews or those reviews, I should say, that are substantive for whoever's searching.
That's a very interesting question, and I think we will talk probably more philosophically, or thoughts on what the future holds about it, because AI, I think we can probably say is still in its infancy. It's evolving right now. Mm-hmm. Google's just introduced AI into its search results. So above the search result, there's an AI generated response. But I would wonder how they would utilize reviews within AI, because, I guess they could pull select ones out. But right now already within, the search result and algorithm, Google does show a few reviews below it. Mm-hmm. So I see this being, again, a little complicated, because what happens if Google algorithmically chooses through AI the bad reviews or something, and that's what you're shown as opposed to the good ones? That would be bad for businesses. So I'm curious how AI will further play into the search result and play into how it selects things. And I will say that, look, Google has been artificial intelligence from the start, right? Sergey Brin and Larry Page, when they founded Google, they are artificial intelligence. That was the whole nature of it. That was the whole thought behind it. And it really has been since day one. So, this actual push on AI at the forefront, what will that deliver in the search result? How will it show the reviews? I think that's a good question. And again, when we're talking about reviews being somebody's personal opinion and feedback, you kind of almost have to use it verbatim as it was. You can't now manipulate that and change it, or you're changing what somebody said. And quite honestly, we're probably now getting into, I don't want to call it copyright infringement, but there's probably, rules around what they said. So this is a bit of a can of worms we've opened, but a very good question. Very interesting.
Well,
I like it.
I guess we're and I don't want to go down. We want to talk about your conference, but
I like the question though, John.
Well, here's what occurs to me. Okay. And for auto shop owners that are listening to this really, I would think, highlights the need to have an expert like you working for them, because it's only going to get more complicated, right? So if I've got a transmission problem and I start searching for transmission shops, right? And I click on a particular auto repair place that does not necessarily have that as part of their headline, right? Then maybe what happens is the reviews that are associated with the great job that Nick's did on my transmission, those are the ones that pop up.
I see what you mean.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
it's something really simple. It's not really changing someone's review, but it's just showing you the reviews that you're going to be most interested in.
Well, actually, bringing that up now, they could have been doing that the whole time. That's not necessarily artificial intelligence. I mean, algorithmically,
right.
They could have been picking words from reviews and showing them, and they've never really done that. So actually, you just came up with an idea they probably should have been doing the whole time, but they have not. So I don't know that AI would specifically change that, would better work their algorithm or their recipe, but
who knows?
But they could have been doing that the whole time, John. That's a great idea.
Well, thanks for indulging.
Dear Google,
that's right.
John has some ideas for you today.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to be listening for my ideas. We've established how important digital marketing and search is for auto repair shops. Can you put some numbers behind this? I mean, in terms of the number of new customers that an auto repair shop gets in a year, what proportion come from digital marketing versus referrals typically? Well,
and all of our shops now are listening very closely. Like, what is it we're getting from this? What are those numbers? So marketing is not, it's a little bit convoluted. It's difficult to say, exact numbers of what people get and what they don't get. But I'll back up to when we started running Google ads for shops 7 or 8 years ago at the rate we're doing it now. And the shops were doing much less revenue, and it seemed like this would be a big spend, right? Like how could a shop spend all this money on ads? I don't think they're very big businesses, but it's not true. I mean, these guys have gone from doing $1 million a year in some cases to doing $22 million a year in revenue.
Now you've got everybody's attention, right?
And they have. And quite honestly, part of that path has been what we've delivered. We're able to help them grow. We're part of a group of talented people in the industry now that help deliver that result, but we're part of the group. We help them get there. So to answer that question, we've had guys go from $18,000 a year or $18,000 a month, excuse me. Jeff bragged in Clearwater, Florida, I mentioned too, to probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $300,000 a month now. So from a barely $250,000 a year business to a, $3 million a year business. And I say, spend on Google ads is proportionate to revenue. So if you have a shop that's doing $1 million a year, which is about $83,000 a month, they're going to spend maybe $1,500 a month in Google ads. But our shops that do $500,000 plus a month, individual shop owners, they're going to spend $8,000 or more a month on Google ads. So to answer the question, we found that spend is proportionate to the result. And it was something we learned with our shops. And when we started doing ads for shops, it seemed like nobody was doing them. Now it's like everybody's like, oh, everybody does it. And I'm like, that wasn't always the way. So I don't know if we were a big part of that, but I think we were a part of that little dance that's going on. But no, the spend is proportionate. And I will say that although it's difficult in marketing to really isolate, lead attribution and where that lead is coming from, it really is. If somebody's telling you they can do it, I've done this probably longer than most, and it's very tricky to do. But if the spend is right, if the market is right, you've got the other factors in place. It is a tremendous lead generator, and at the other end of it is the business owner. When the phone rings, we can make the phone ring. If they're not doing a great job on the phone and bringing people in and following all of the important steps they have to follow and having great habits on their end, then it's going to fail. And guess who's going to get blamed?
Well, yeah. I mean, and thanks for bringing up that point. I mean, the revenue only comes after you've successfully repaired the automobile and run the credit card, right? So there's a lot that happens between that phone call and that point of running the credit card that you don't have anything to do with, which is,
right. But we recognize that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like that's been a difference with our companies. We don't just go, we're running ads and, good luck with it. We recognize that there's an intersection between what we do and what they do. And that's the phones, or that's when somebody comes in. And this is something shop owners have grown tremendously at over the years. And that we've been working with them. We've just seen them really put emphasis on this and do an amazing job. So that's a big, important part of it. But I would say that Google is a tremendous lead generator. It makes the phone ring. We can see growth in phone calls. We do track things. I mean, we're watching phone calls. We see the calls increase, and we're able to show that we're creating value. But it's a lot more, I think, than just simply making the phone ring that we deliver. You've got me, 32 years in business and marketing and business growth, and And, our internal motto is you'll never have to go home and tell your family a sad story, right? We are going to make sure that you never have to go home and say, I'm sorry, honey, we got to shut the shop down because I couldn't make it work. Hell no, I will do whatever it takes 24/7, 365 to avoid any shop owner having to have that conversation.
Yeah, I like that. So what I want to get to your conference here because the conference sounds awfully interesting.
Thank you.
But let's give shop owners out there the one big lead generation tip that Ryan can offer today. I know you've got many, but what's the one on your mind today?
I think that it goes back to basics. If you're struggling, I think it always starts with your biggest growth of any business comes from your existing client base and your community. And that can really cost zero at the end of the day. I mean, local networking, which I know you're a big proponent of, John, getting out and at a local, closed networking group and getting out there and meeting people. I mean, if your car count is very low, you can generate 30, 40 new cars a month coming into your shop, just going to a closed networking group once a week and meeting people. So I always believe if you have problems, they're usually at the low end, right? I mean, once the business is going, you can bring on marketing and do things to dramatically increase car count. But there's that. And then also your client base. I believe that the biggest challenge our shops have is retention. And I believe in most cases, they're not aware of that. And I'll even go further to say that they don't think they have that problem. They think everybody loves them and they don't love them. And they need to put some emphasis there by getting out there and talking to their client base. So that is always, when it is virtually impossible to have flat car count in an auto repair shop year over year, because people should be coming back and new business should always be happening. So it's very difficult to do. And when we look at it, it's typically retention. So new business generation, when we dig deep into numbers with shops, is usually fantastic. It's usually retention numbers. And it's not because they're lousy people or whatever. It's just that they're not taking those extra steps to make sure that people are coming back. So I would say that, the biggest tip I can give. And then of course, hire a company like Leads to help generate more leads.
Of course.
And some of our partner
and
friends.
Then you don't have to think about it, right?
Yes. Yeah. I'll introduce you to other folks that are smart too, and we'll help you get there. But there you go.
There you go. Ryan Burton, folks, CEO of Leads Near Me, and also the founder, and I guess you're the operator of this conference, right? You're doing it all.
I'm doing it all.
You're doing it all. The High Gear Auto Repair Marketing Conference that will occur later this year, 2023. So tell us about this conference.
Absolutely. November 29th, 30th, and December 1st at the Atlanta Airport Marriott High Gear Auto Repair Marketing Conference. It's a marketing conference for auto repair shops. And this really is our attempt to really give back, to give to shop owners. We are bringing in experts from every area of marketing. I talked about networking. We have the president of a networking company. We have people coming from Effect TV to talk TV and video advertising. We have people from radio. I've got a senior vice president of a major radio company coming to talk, and we're getting into everything. Of course, we'll talk a little digital. We've got direct mail companies coming, real, heads of these industries, some shop owners to talk marketing electric vehicles. I've got major companies coming to talk about artificial intelligence, just anything that relates to growing business. And we want to spend those 2 days mainly here in Atlanta with the conference, just pouring into shops. And it's not so much, we can consider it advertising school for a few days, really teaching and teaching and teaching. But we really want to equip people to make better decisions with marketing and understand their relationship to these platforms. Because a lot of times people, they buy things and they go, I think I've got the right marketing. I think this is good. We're going to help teach people to do it and put them in the right place, and then hopefully develop and nurture this into something more ongoing. But it is not a sales event. There will be no situation where we say, sign up here today. And I believe that if you come to this event, and we're going to talk retention as well at this event too. We've got some amazing people from I have Brooke Henderson coming from Yext, Wendy Kinney, who's the founder of PowerCore. We have Sunil Patel, who is the CEO of TechMetric, a major shop management software. Aaron Stokes, who's the founder of ShopFix Academy, which is a shop coaching company. I have Steve Jones, a senior vice president of Stingray Radio and author of Brand Like a Rockstar. I mean, the list goes on. If I didn't mention you, I've got Carolyn Cocolette, my pal from Shopware, and she also owns a cutting edge shop in San Francisco called Earthling Automotive, which is a leader in electric vehicle repairs. We're looking to the future as it relates to electric vehicles and marketing. Actually, we market Earthling as well. So we're involved in that. So we're really looking to just open people's minds. And I think our, how do I frame this correctly? Our promise to you, our thought to you in this is by this time next year, your revenue will double for coming to this event. We will double your revenue if you really drink this in and do it. And I think you can do it. I think you can make it happen. If you think about retention, if you think about new customer acquisition, and we'll also focus on brand, right? A lot of these people have never talked about branding, thought about branding. We'll be getting into all of it and this is only happening. We're going to do this in 2 days. People are going to be very tired at the end of this 2 days, but
wow.
But we're going to pour in. So
that's why you're doing this near the Atlanta airport, so people can fly in, get the work done for 2 days and fly back out.
Get home. When I go to things, I can't wait to get home after. So I'm very conscious of their families.
Yeah.
Come in on Wednesday, come to our welcome reception and get in for those 2 days and get out. And I'm very excited. We're going to be launching a song in a couple of weeks called High Gear, which was sort of instigated and put together by my friend Will Turpin from the rock band Collective Soul, who've been nominated for Grammys and had multi-platinum albums. It's performed by a band out of Cincinnati called The Summit. And it is so cool. And Will should be at the event, and we're going to work to get all these people there. So it's going to be a marketing event. It's not going to be the ones you've been to. This is going to be badass, and it's going to be rock and roll, and it's going to be fun, and we're going to have a good time, and it's really going to ignite your imagination and grow your business. And I hate those people that aren't coming. We only have a limit of 150 seats this year as well, too. We've limited, and we're virtually sold out, by the way, already, but we probably have another 30, 40 tickets to go, and we expect that they will be sold out. So come on down.
Yeah,
love to have you there.
Yeah, absolutely. You better get your cards and letters in, as it were. So what, I guess obviously you're trying to generate business for your own firm, but you're trying to educate too, it sounds like. I mean, you've got a pretty comprehensive conference that you've set up.
Yeah.
That really touches on all aspects of I was going to say marketing, but when you're talking about retention, it's really more than just marketing. I mean, it's really customer relationships, right? There's
a lot to it. I kind of call it all into marketing because at the end of the day, my definition of marketing is getting more customers. I mean, we can doll it up all we want, but that's it. And more customers can come through retention. And so all of these things play into success in marketing. Look, Leads Near Me has become the leader in digital marketing for auto repair shops. We are the best in the business. And this is simply us taking that mantle and owning this and committing to it. So we're going to do everything that needs to be done, stand up for these shops and give them everything we possibly can so they can be unbelievably successful. So it's not that no one else was doing it, but no one else is doing it. So it's again, that wasn't the reason. It's our love for it and our love for these people and our commitment to it. So we're stepping up and owning the mantle. This is not a sales event. Every day we have multiple people wanting to do business with us. We are successful. We are happy. Our team is lovely. Our shops are kicking it. And this is us just basically taking that torch and saying, we got you guys. We are here. We're going to do everything. And this is just the beginning of what we're going to do for our shops. We're just getting warmed up.
Yeah. Great work, Ryan.
Thank you.
Ryan Burton, CEO of Leads Near Me, and also the creator of the High Gear Auto Repair Marketing Conference, which will have its initial incarnation in 2023. We know more are coming, right, in future years. Yeah. Well, this has been great, Ryan, and I can't imagine there aren't some folks that want to be in touch. But before we get to that, I really would love it if you shared kind of off the cuff a few success stories, but maybe share a success story that dives a little bit deeper into the great work you do for clients.
Yeah. And again, the team at Leads Near Me is second to none. They care so much about the shops. They deliver amazing people. I guess, the simple aspect are the revenue numbers, right? We take people on at the low end of doing $1 million a year, somewhere therein. They seem to show up around our neighborhood. We've had guys go from having one shop doing $1 million a year to having 6, and their revenue annually probably kisses 20 million. But I mean, their net worth is substantial at this point. These shop owners that have grown to become, real estate investors, property owners, landlords, really just moguls. They're very, very smart people, and we work with them. So, we have access to all these people. It's very cool. But I think the real success that we've enjoyed is the success these families have had, and how people have banded together. We've seen shop owners that have gotten sick, and other shop owners band together and help one another. It's really the success of the families and the employees. That's really the success these shops have had. And so without, we've seen the business growth. I'd almost say that's easy. If you're a good operator and you have good marketing, then it's, the future has been foretold. You're going to end up where you're going to end up, right? The cream rises to the top. But what I've seen with these families and what they've done for each other and how they care for each other, and even for me, we are the greatest success story, and the most humbling one is all of these shop owners that have committed to us and worked with us. My family does very well, and we're very cared for, and it's because they have supported us and done business with us. So that's not a direct answer. I know maybe you're wanting something a little more specific.
No,
Joe started with this and did this, but I think the families and what I've seen there, and how they've all banded together. And we've seen shop owners drive across the country because somebody was sick and they worked in his shop for a couple of weeks. And, we have one of our clients now that's battling cancer, and I see GoFundMe's go up and people supporting one another. And I'm not dropping a bunch of names because I think that there's somewhat of a disingenuous aspect of me dropping everybody's name here to try to, but everybody knows who they are. And it's really very special. They're all very humble. It's again been very humbling, and it's amazing what they do. So I'm saying this actually to people that aren't shop owners. These are amazing people. They should be considered in the same sentence as any first responder. They keep America moving. They're great people. Be nice to your shop owner. Give them a hug today, and thank them for the work they do, because they're amazing people.
Yeah, that's great words here from Ryan Burton, CEO of Leads Near Me. Ryan, this has been fantastic, but we've got to get to the most important part of this interview, which is directing people that want to learn more about Leads Near Me, or certainly the conference, which folks pay attention. Very few seats remaining.
Absolutely. So we'll start with the High Gear Auto Repair Marketing Conference. It's just highgearconference.com. Go there. There's all the information. All our speakers are listed. You can easily get tickets in your rooms at the Atlanta Airport Marriott. And then also Leads Near Me, just leadsnearme.com. Jump on our website. You can book an appointment if you want to meet with us. We'd love to have you call over. J-Dog, my boy Jason, will probably pick up the phone if you call. If you want to call the number there, and he's the nicest guy on earth, so he'll talk to you if you call. My whole team is amazing. I got to go through the whole list of everybody now. But anyway, no, my team is awesome. But Jason typically gets the phone. So no, and I'm really grateful. Thank you for having me here today to spread the word on our conference. And it's nice seeing you again, John.
Well, yeah, great to see you, and we're just delighted to be able to shine the light on the work you're doing and to celebrate that work. So congratulations on the great job you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Ryan Burton, CEO of Leads Near Me and the founder of the High Gear Auto Repair Marketing Conference, which will occur in Atlanta later in 2023. Don't miss it, folks. And that's it for this edition of the show. I want to thank Ryan Burton again so much for coming on and joining us to share the great work that he's doing. And I want to thank you, our listener, for joining us as well. I'm John Ray. Join us next time for another edition of Minneapolis-St. Paul Business Radio.